Merry Christmas. I'd like to welcome you to Bonsack United Methodist Church. We come together to celebrate Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem, in our world, in our hearts, in our community. It changes everything. If you are part of this worship experience this morning, you are worshiping virtually, and there is on our Facebook page, as well as emails and texts that went out this morning, links to what we call the worship notes. This is a expanded bulletin that gives you the songs and the links that we use in worship this morning. If you'd like to go and get those right now on the Bonsack United Methodist Church Facebook page, or if you open up your email or your text this morning, if you are part of that, then you can follow along as well. You'll also see in our worship notes, are part of what we call the newsletter or e-blast. A lot of things are still happening, even though Christmas is being celebrated today. We are still in Roanoke. We are helping out the rescue mission. There's ways that you can get involved there. We are also collecting soup for seniors. It is a feeding program that we do out here in our own community to make sure that all of the retirees who are struggling to find food, to get the food that they need, how you can help with that is in our newsletter as well. And we also are supporting and partnering with the Virginia Harm Reduction Coalition, and if you'd like to help with the clothing drive for the homeless, you can do that as well. And if you would like to also volunteer on Wednesdays, they are looking for some volunteers at their campus in Roanoke City. We are here to worship our God, and I invite you to settle your souls, calm your minds, and let us hear a new song that was written by Milton Marks from here at the church and also sung by him. It's Christmas Time Again.
It's Christmas time again. Can't you hear the bells ringing? Can't you hear that choir singing out the news? They tell a story about a baby born in a manger, God's only son, sent to save the world from sin. I see people every day, they don't seem to hear it all, rushing madly here and there, but really getting nowhere at all. They seem so different, they don't seem to care at all about peace and goodwill to all on earth, peace on earth. Oh, you know it's Christmas time again. It's Christmas time again. All the TV sets, they blare it, and all the shopping malls declare it. Oh, can't you hear? They tell a story about great savings, lots of deals for you and me, and it's all free for the asking, at least for 30 days. The babe born 2,000 years ago grew to be a man who told a story about a kingdom of love in a way we could all understand, and of the power of the Spirit to fill our empty hearts with love and peace and goodwill to all on earth, peace on earth. Oh. Oh, you know it's Christmas time again.
A reading by Linda Felver. Let me not keep Christmas. Let me not wrap, stack, box, bag, tie, tag, bundle, seal, keep Christmas. Christmas kept is liable to mold. Let me give Christmas away, unwrapped by exuberant armfuls. Let me share, dance, live Christmas unpretentiously, merrily, responsibly, with overflowing hands, tireless steps, and sparkling eyes.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant.
For years, it has been the same earworm in my stuck in my head, in my ears this time of the year, and I'm just humming it. I'm singing it all the time, no matter where I am. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. And it certainly helps that so many radio stations have only playing Christmas music right now, and it began sometime around Thanksgiving, and so I pretty much regularly hear that song. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. It also helps that even before Thanksgiving, the stores in our community have had their Christmas decorations up and the holiday displays are out, and so I'm humming along. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. And it really helps. It really helps that we have been decorating our homes with lights and trees and garlands and wreaths earlier and earlier and earlier than ever before. In the worship notes, there are links to a survey, a study that was made this year, where they surveyed thousands of people across the country, and they came up with the results of that survey, and it said that 10% of the people in the United States of America, in this country, decorate their homes 2 months before Christmas, 10% of us. And then there's also in that study, they've gone state by state, and they found which states decorate earliest, the predominant number of people in their state, which ones decorate closest to Christmas. And places like South Dakota, most of the people in South Dakota, according to the study, have already, their decorations are already up 6 weeks before Christmas. And so again, it certainly helps. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere we go. And here we are, Christmas Day, December 25th. The gifts have all been unwrapped. The traveling, the parties, the gift giving, it's over. And we are, what? Tired? We are exhausted. We're already thinking about taking down all the decorations. We are ready for the company to go home. What are we experiencing at this moment? For the most part, by tomorrow at least, we will feel like Christmas for this year is over. It's a little sad, at least for me, because during the weeks before Christmas, whether it's 2 months before or 6 weeks before Thanksgiving weekend, it seems that everything changes. People smile more. People seem to be a little bit happier. We ponder who each other is in a real way, and we try to find gifts that capture the essence of the person or the passion of the person. We're always singing. We're always humming. We are more generous than we are at other times of the year. We look after, we help after people that we normally ignore during the year, and we're willing to get together. We're willing to have parties and dinner parties, and we're willing to get together with people, make new friends, tolerate each other's differences like at no other time during the year. We are just nicer people during the Christmas season, and yet, for the most part, by tomorrow at least, it will feel like Christmas is over for another year. And we'll go back to how we usually are. And that's a little sad. I don't know if you've been following, but there is this story that has taken the newscasts, and whether you're virtual news or you watch the TV news, everybody's talking about something that happened in Minneapolis, St. Paul just the other day. People who knew her called her Ace. Ace Thomas was her name. She was working in a liquor store there in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And one day she was looking out the window while she was helping the customers, and she saw something that we've all seen before. There was a homeless person. A homeless person was right outside the store going through the trash, trying to find something. And in the story, in the interviews, Ace watched him for a while, and then she saw him pull out two boxes. And he reached down and he put these boxes, attached them somehow with something he found onto his feet. They were going to be his shoes. And as he was putting the boxes on his feet, she saw that the bottoms of his shoes had worn away. There was nothing left, and it was cold. It is cold in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And so mid-transaction, Ace Thomas, she stops what she's doing. She looked at the customer she's helping. She said, can you just hold on for a second? I need to go outside and I need to talk to this guy. So she goes to the door of the liquor store. She stands there. She hollers out to the guy, the homeless person, and has him come over, and she asks him, what size shoe do you wear? He says 10, 10 and a half, something like that. Now, Ace Thomas, she looks around. She thinks, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help him at this moment. And then suddenly she gets this inspiration. She reaches down and she grabs her own shoes. She unties them. She takes them off her own feet and she hands them to this homeless guy and tells him to put them on. He can't believe somebody's giving him new shoes. And not just any new shoes at all, but these are purple retro Nike Air Jordans. They are a tribute to Ace Thomas's favorite football team, the Minnesota Vikings. He holds the shoes for a moment, he looks at her and he says, nobody's ever given me shoes before. Now Ace Thomas looks back at him and she says, I'm not like everybody else. She said he thanked her over and over and over again as he put the shoes on. He didn't have to have the boxes anymore. He didn't have to have the shoes that had no bottoms to them anymore. He put on these Nike Air Jordans. And Ace Thomas said to the newspaper TV reporters that were talking to her, he seemed to walk a little straighter. He seemed to be a little more pride in his walk as he went. Ace Thomas went back to the store and went back to work. The owner of the liquor store came back in a couple hours later when he was scheduled to be there, and he looked and he saw that Ace was serving the customers, helping customers in her sock feet. He asked her what happened. She told him the story. He was amazed. In the past few days, as this story has unfolded, as it has been caught and shared across the country and around the world, there are some links in the worship notes to articles that have been written about it and videos that have been made about it, not just in this country but around the world. But in that link you can check it out. But we find that Ace Thomas was not really like everybody in a lot of ways. One of those is that she struggled in a lot of ways. She struggled in that her mother was very ill and was now living with her in a one-bedroom apartment. And her mother was sleeping in the bed in that apartment, and Ace was sleeping on the floor at night. And she was working every day just to get enough money to feed them, to keep the heat on, to keep them alive. As I hear that story, as I think about that story, some might say it's a story of a foolish person. Some might say it's a Christmas miracle. And I hear it and I think to myself, I mean, you know me, right? And the music starts. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. In the Christmas story in the Bible, the first few people who hear that Jesus is coming to be born, Emmanuel, God is with us, the Messiah, whatever word you happen to use, they burst into song. It does something to them, this baby who's born. And the songs talk about how this baby is going to change everything, not just for a few weeks each year, but this baby is going to change every person, every community, all around the world. And it's going to be a total change. The most well-known of these people who encounter the baby is a person by the name of Mary. And Mary, when she bursts into song, we in the church call it the Magnificat. She talks about what's going to happen, not after the birth, not after Christmas Day, but forever. Luke chapter 1. My soul magnifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. For God has looked upon the humble estate of his servants, talking about herself. And behold, from now on, all are going to call me blessed. For God, who is mighty, has done great things for me, and holy is God's name. And God's mercy is for everyone who fears him from generation to generation. God has shown strength with God's arm. God has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. God has brought down the mighty from their thrones and exalted those of humble estates. God has brought down those who have everything and lifted up those who have nothing. God has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich God has sent away empty. God has helped God's people, and in remembrance of God's mercy, God will be with us forever. Did you hear? Mary, the mother of the baby who was born on Christmas, whose birth we celebrate, and all of the decorations and all of the gift giving and all of the parties and it's kind of the basis of everything. Mary said, because this baby is going to be born, then those who have nothing will now have hope. Those who are hungry will now be fed. Those who are struggling just to survive will have what is needed to live. Those who have a lot will be brought down. Those who have nothing will be lifted up. And God, through Jesus, Emmanuel, is going to change everything. That this baby, this event called Christmas, is supposed to somehow last more than just a few weeks each year. And for those who have this baby born in their lives, which is what we celebrate in the church at Christmas time, born in their hearts, it changes us, and that changes all the people and all the places and all the events and all the situations that are all around us. Not just for a few weeks each year, but for all time. Bob Goff is a best-selling author, a speaker, an influencer in our community. He's also a pivotal influencer here at Bonsec United Methodist Church with some of the writings and things that he's done, and we use them as study guides for us. On his Facebook page this week, he gave the best description of Advent, the best description of Christmas that I've ever heard. On his Facebook page this week, he says, what's going to happen on Christmas Day is that heaven took a deep breath and held it because everything was about to change. Heaven took a deep breath and held it because everything was about to change. Everything is about to change. And how can it change? For the past couple of weeks, in the Bonsec United Methodist Church newsletter e-blast that has gone out, there's been something we've been challenged or encouraged to reflect on as we are living out Advent, getting ready for Christmas. And it was called a holiday bucket list, and it's printed in your worship notes. It's on the e-blast if you'd like to see it. And it said, instead of buying presents, and there's kind of a change or a funny way that they X things out and add things, but it says instead of buying presents, we should be present. Instead of wrapping gifts, we should wrap someone in a hug. Instead of sending gifts, we should send love to people. Instead of shopping for food, we should donate food to those who are hungry. Instead of making cookies, we should make memories. Friends, loved ones, strangers, co-workers, people at school. Instead of seeing the lights, we should be the light. Because that baby born at Christmas is born inside of us, and it changes us. And the light of Christ then just goes out of us. The love of Christ goes out of us and impacts everyone around us. And it's not just for a couple of weeks. It's all the time, in all the places. Because with the birth of Jesus in the stable, the birth of Jesus in the world, the birth of Jesus in our hearts, with the birth of Jesus, heaven took a breath and held it. Because everything was about to change.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. While shepherds kept them watching, o'er silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth rang out the angel chorus that held our Savior's birth. Go tell it on the mountains, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Down in a lowly manger, the humble Christ was born, and God sent us salvation, that blessed Christmas morn. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Oh, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
We end our Christmas service with this reading from Howard Thurman. The work of Christmas begins when the song of the angel is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with the flocks. Then the work of Christmas begins, to find the lost, to heal those broken in spirit, to feed the hungry, to release the oppressed, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among all peoples, to make a little music with the heart, and to radiate the light of Christ every day, in every way, in all that we do and in all that we say. Then the work of Christmas begins. Merry Christmas. And may the love of Christ be with each of you. Amen.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let